I wouldn't even say I'm successful now. I'm just working. I mean, when you got such big goals, you
Mhm.
never really successful. Successful is what you make of it. I think I'm
Mhm.
successful because I have a family.
Am I able to do it? I just hit the button because I would never know unless I do it. I don't know the results of anything until I actually put in the work to do it.
So why not team up with your own mind and just think positively?
Sure.
It's the only thing we can do.
Just because it's quiet, just because it's painful, doesn't mean it's the end all be all. Like, you literally can take that season and elevate to the next. You can elevate multiple chapters in advance and get to where you really need to be at.
You being alone, being able to sit down with your own thoughts, block out all the noise. I think that is one of the key ingredients you need to not only get to know yourself, but to become successful in any avenue that you want to pursue.
Welcome to another episode of Trail Truth Podcast. Today I have a special guest, someone I just met recently. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he's from Atlanta. He just moved down to Tampa recently. So I want to hear how his story is and, just to get to know each other a lot better. So go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
What's up, y'all? My name is Aidan Terrell. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
usually how I start off every episode, I just like to ask my guests, how are you doing mentally?
How am I doing mentally?
Mm-hmm.
Well, life, I feel like it brings a lot of ups and downs,
Sure.
but I think your mentality is one of the only things that you actually got control over.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no matter what my circumstances, I try to look at the positive light in every situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, to answer your question, I think my mental health is pretty good.
Sure. And I think that's important. And what you said is, and the only reason why it's kind of funny is because I just had a conversation with somebody about this. I think oftentimes as human and as people, we beat ourselves up so much verbally that it affects our mental, and then our mental leads into our physicality. So a lot of people don't, like, for instance, the perfect example I give is, say today's Tuesday. If today on Tuesday something go wrong with somebody's car, their whole week is ruined. They tell themselves, my week is ruined. I don't want to do nothing no more. And they completely shut down mentally. Now, physically, they're going to lead into being more lazy, not being as productive and not being as consistent as they normally would be, or as they should be. So that's definitely important. But
Well, your mind and your body is connected.
connected.
That's
Mm-hmm.
it's like when you at a dis-ease, it leads to a disease. Like
Exactly.
everything is correlated for
Exactly.
sure.
I definitely agree with that. With this being our first conversation, I want you to go ahead and tell everybody like a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do, and everything of that nature. Give them a whole spill.
Give y'all a quick little spill. So, military kid, grew up like 8, 9 years in Germany. And then I had moved to Georgia. I grew up in Augusta, Georgia. And then I just went to school in Kennesaw. I went to school. That was my second school I went to in college. And then I also went to school in Savannah State where I had did track. I did 3 years, excuse me, I did 2 years playing for Savannah State track and field.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
For sure. And what kind of led you to come down here to Tampa?
So I actually got injured my second year at Savannah State.
Hmm.
And so I went to school for my third year. I wasn't feeling it. I dropped out and I was like, okay, it's time to start like my real life. And I was like, what better way to just start my foundation than just go to a whole new city? You know what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
don't know anybody. I'm cutting all the ties with anything that I felt like was holding me back.
For sure.
And Tampa just happened to be the place that I was led to. So
For sure. And would you say that your injury put you in a season of isolation?
I would say so. But at the same time, like I said earlier, my mindset on things is I like to look at the positive light in every situation. So at the time, I didn't know it, but I was idolizing the fact of my physical body.
Mhm.
So I thought track was the end all be all, but that's just my physical capabilities.
Exactly.
So it kind of led me to opening my mind to just my own mind. Like
Mhm.
I'm more than capable of doing things other than just using my physical body. And so I would say I was isolated, but at the same time, my perception of isolation is like isolation is a good thing. You being alone, being able to sit down with your own thoughts, block out all the noise. I think that is one of the key ingredients you need to not only get to know yourself, but to become successful in any avenue that you want to pursue.
Sure. So I definitely agree with that. And I tell people, like, without the seasons of I've been through multiple seasons of isolation, but without the most recent one that happened to me in 2024 December of 2024, I would never have my podcast because I was put in a situation where I was confused about who I was. I knew what I was capable of, but I didn't know who I was. And with those two intertwining, everything that I achieved never held value to me because it was like, okay, I know what I'm capable of. Yes, I can go build this, I can go do this, but I'm lost inside. So it's like, do I really value this win or am I just adding on more to the pile? You know what I mean? I had to take a scale back and say, who am I? What do I like? And what do I enjoy doing? Those are
Exactly.
two different things. You can like doing something, but you don't enjoy it. So I had to
Yeah.
understand what did I enjoy doing? And the passion of mine was always helping people.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, it was like people like, man, you help me, you give me so much advice. And people always tell me, like, I think you should speak. I think you should do this. I think you should do that. And I'm like, I don't like cameras. Like I like doing everything behind the scenes and I'd rather upgrade somebody up behind the scenes. That way they can take all the shine because I
Exactly.
necessarily don't need that.
Yeah. For sure.
So that's it's definitely key to have another season of isolation in your life. And what people don't understand is that just because it's quiet, just because it's painful, doesn't mean it's the end all be all. Like you literally can take that season and elevate to the next. You can elevate multiple chapters in advance and get to where you really need to be at. So my question for you
100%.
is, how did you develop that mindset of looking at everything positive, even through the negativity and the failures?
Mm, say that question one more time.
So how are you able to look at everything positive through the failures and negativity? Because like you said, like you don't look at it for what it like, for instance, your injury, you didn't look at it for just being an injury. You look at, okay, what else can I do?
I mean, I feel like that you have to. You have to. I
Mhm,
mean, what else am I gonna do? I'm just gonna stop. You know what
mhm,
I'm saying? I feel like as a man, you have to show up
true.
no matter what's going on in your life. And so, I mean, you're not gonna have a cheerleader by your side every day. You're not gonna have people clapping for you.
Mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Them nights gonna be lonely. It's just gonna be you and your thoughts. So
mhm,
why not team up with your own mind and just think positively?
sure,
It's the only thing we can do.
exactly. I agree with you 110%. And I think even like you just said, especially as men, a lot of men also get the misconception of we're not allowed to be vulnerable and we're not allowed to express how we feeling. But if you're able to do that with yourself, that's one of the biggest tools because I feel like a lot of men misunderstand vulnerability and acceptance. I feel like sometimes, we go through things and we either try to brush it under the rug and try to pretend that we strong, but the biggest part of life is acceptance. Once you're able to accept that something cannot go forward or something that cannot be, you're able to now go within yourself. Like you said, your heart and your mind work as a team. As long as you can compare the two and work together, you're able to accept whatever is not meant to be, and you're able to accept what's next. So my next question for
Completely
you
agree.
is, being that you moved here, especially at a young age, what was one thing that you had to accept with moving to another city and it being brand new?
One thing I had to accept,
Mhm,
and I was actually willing to accept, was the fact that I didn't know nobody. But that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the things that were, what's the word I'm looking for? Uncomfortabilities. I was looking for myself to be uncomfortable.
mhm,
So me not knowing anybody, me not having any family up here, having no friends, bring it on. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was looking for.
mhm.
And I had to accept, and I was willing to accept that because I know that's what brings growth. That's exactly what brings growth, and that's exactly what I needed.
Sure, for sure. And I think the key thing that most people misunderstand is that when situations are uncomfortable, it causes you to be somebody that you truly don't think you are, but you already are inside. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, like you moved to another city. I did the same thing. I'm from Orlando. I moved here, didn't know
Or
nobody. You know what I mean? I ended up going to college here. And when you're in a situation or a setting like college, you can either be the person that's to themselves or you could be the person that explores. I chose to explore because it's like I know it's more than life than just me. You know what I mean? Like I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm here to do.
exactly.
But if I have more people in my village, it becomes to be more easier for me. You taking out the load. Now to speak on what you said, accepting that you didn't know anybody, how did you begin to meet other people?
So I love hooping. I did go to school for track, like I just said,
Mm,
but you can't high jump everywhere. And I did get injured, but my injury was a weird injury, right? So it was like I can barely jump off my left foot, but I could jump off 2 feet. So,
yeah.
like, it didn't stop me from hooping, it didn't stop me from being active, running and stuff like that, but it did stop me from doing high jump, which is one of my main events that I did, back at Savannah State. But like I said, meeting people, I feel like it was natural for me to meet people who were just like-minded
Yeah.
because I feel like I don't wanna get too deep, but, like, if you operating on a similar energy as other people, you'll just naturally meet other people,
Exactly.
right? Naturally, throughout school, high school, college, I just met people through sports because that's what I always did. So when I
Mhm.
came down here, the first thing I did was I was hooping, you know what I'm saying? I was active. Those are
Mhm.
people my speed, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Me just going to hooping runs and just meeting people that way, through work, just meeting people through work, stuff like that. I was just meeting people walking to the grocery store as well. Like, you meet people anywhere.
Mhm.
I don't think it's a specific place you gotta go to meet somebody. You just meet people while you're just going through life.
Exactly. Organically being yourself
Exactly.
and presenting yourself as who you are, and people that's likewise will then cling to you.
But I will say this though. One of the things that caught me by surprise when I first moved down here, which is how I met majority of the people, how I got connected to you
Mhm.
was through somebody who reached out through TIG. He had reached out to me through TikTok, I believe, TikTok or Instagram. But it's like social media has allowed me to reach so many different connections.
Mhm.
I've probably met so many people down here from just social media in general. So that is actually one of the main ways that I've met people down here.
So let me ask you this: now that we're stepping into another portion, how would you say that? Because there's no limitation to social media. Like people can live up a facade behind their social media profiles and all the other stuff. How are you able to, in a sense, filter out who you should be around and who you should keep around you?
I mean, you could see what kind of signal they sending out through their social media. Like if they're active on social, is that what you were asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're active on social media, they got a social media presence, a brand or whatnot. You could kind of see, oh, is this person going? Are we going to connect? But I mean, I tend to just have that kind of knowing already whether, okay, we gonna connect or not before I even meet them just based off kind of just looking at them, I guess.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't really bring that too much. I don't really think too much about that. It's just
Yeah.
kind of something that just, you feel me, we doing the same thing, or you know what I'm saying, you about your business just like I am.
Mm,
Okay, we'll probably connect.
exactly. So how would you say if somebody wanted to make that jump that you made as far as in moving to another city or moving to another location where they don't know anybody, what would you say is like three most important things that you can tell them, like advice wise?
Advice wise, if somebody asks me right now, they want to move to a different city.
Mhm.
First, you gotta know why. Why do you wanna move to a new city? Is there something that you can't do in your current city that, you're trying to get away from because you wanna achieve more? So you gotta understand the why behind your what. Number 2, um, are you doing everything that you can in your current city?
Mhm.
So, making sure that because habits don't just habits aren't just gonna disappear. You know, if you got bad habits, you can go across the country and
Still have those same bad habits.
exactly, you could be in a completely different environment. Yeah, you could be around the beach. It could be sunny.
Mhm.
But if you don't do the inner work within,
Mhm.
you might as well stay in the same city that you're currently in. That's number 2. Number 3, I would say, write out a goal. What do you want to achieve? What are you looking for? Because oftentimes people just think a new environment is gonna change the results. And in some cases it will,
Yep.
because some environments, if it's winter all the time, it's cold, that stuff does affect you.
Mhm.
But you gotta understand the deeper reason as to why you wanna move environments, because moving environments, your city or your hometown, that might not just be the issue, that might be the issue on the outside, but you gotta find the issue that's deep within, like, you gotta really sit and think like, "Okay, what is really what am I really looking for? What am I trying to gain out of moving to a new city? Okay, I wanna go to a new city, cool, but, like, what what is it that I'm truly looking for?"
Exactly. I mean, that's completely real. I feel like with my jump, I think I was searching for not necessarily an escape. I was in Orlando all the way up into high school, never been out of nowhere. I never been to other cities or nothing like that. I think I was looking for a new start. And I think a lot of people like the idea of a new start, but they don't like the responsibilities that come with a new start.
For sure.
So with me, I was just ready to go. I was ready to be an adult, not knowing that adult comes with not only more responsibility, but more acceptance, more emotional stability, financial stability. And then if you want to be free, you have to be disciplined. And I think a lot of people avoid the word discipline because it
Yeah.
looks like it's too strict or too stern or is not comfortable for where they want to be. You know what I mean? So now that's the next question I want to ask you based off of the content you put on Instagram, you kind of have like a more disciplined routine that you follow throughout your day-to-day life. How are you able to create that discipline for your schedule and how are you able to stick with it, knowing that you can easily just scale back and be comfortable and lazy in a sense?
Well, like you just said, discipline is the key to freedom.
Hmm.
People think freedom is you being able to do what you want and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you could people want freedom. People desire freedom. That's why people stay disciplined. But think about it like this. If somebody is wanting to get in shape, but they also want the freedom of eating whatever they want, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, your health will decline if you just eating whatever you want.
Hmm.
So you have to stay disciplined if you want a healthy body. And so to answer your question, how do I stay disciplined? It's because I enjoy the freedoms, just like everybody else. I enjoy eating what I want, but I also enjoy having a healthy body. So to have that healthy body, I got to be disciplined.
Hmm.
So just knowing that, that's my why behind my what, and that's what allows me to keep a disciplined routine.
For sure.
So me being active, me eating healthy foods,
Hmm.
doing things like that is what allows me to get that freedom.
For sure. And I wanna jump into this next portion and it's very interesting because you enjoy doing something that I enjoy doing as well too. And when I followed you that one day and I seen it, I was like, damn, yeah, I definitely gotta get him on the podcast. You like doing public speaking, right?
Yeah.
Being that, and this is a question I've been asked before, so I'm gonna ask you as well too. And I was asked this question by an older person
Okay.
and it felt more like as a targeting, like a target towards me and what my capabilities are. But at the same time, I took it and I reflected on it and I gave my answer. So knowing that you're young, how do you think that you're capable of advising other people? Because and the reason why I'm asking that is because most people like you're not experienced enough. That's what I was told. You're not experienced enough. You haven't been through enough to be able to advise other people. So public speaking, how are you able to basically hold the not the value, but
Like
hold the
like authoritative
the
figure.
authority of being able to advise other people.
Well,
Whoa, whoa. I know you're too busy watching the episode, but just take a moment to look at the link down below. Make sure you subscribe to the Truth Lounge. Make sure you join the Truth family. Live in your truth. This is the perfect place to be, and I appreciate you for tuning in and watching the episode.
I've gotten a lot of comments about that. People tell me, "Oh, you look," especially because I got a baby face.
Mhm,
So people be like, "Oh, you look, you too young to be telling me about what I should be doing every single day."
mhm,
Hey, if that's your way of looking at it, by all means, don't listen to a word I say.
mhm,
But everybody does have different experiences. You could be 50 years old and a baby could teach you something. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
You could be a kid and a grown man could teach you something.
mhm,
I think you can learn something from everybody. Yes, I do public speaking. Yes, I talk to people. Yes, I give advice based off of my experiences and my knowledge. Some of the knowledge just comes from within. You don't have to experience things. Sometimes you can learn from other people's mistakes.
mhm.
And I just take on the fact that I can learn from anybody, even the people that I may be giving advice to. I learn from them.
Mhm.
So you just gotta have an open mind on everybody who's speaking based off not and you can't base it off of, oh, this person is this 21 years old. I'm not finna listen to him. This person is 70-year-old. You probably forgot about what your childhood was like. I'm not gonna
Mm,
listen to you.
mhm.
I think that's a dumb ideology that you have if you're doing that. And that's not a me thing, that's a you thing. That's
Exactly.
one of those things where the other person on the other side of the screen has to look at themselves. And
Mhm.
sometimes I can't control that, so I'm not going to control that. I'm gonna just continue shining my light,
Mhm.
and whoever wants to receive it will.
Mhm. For sure. And what would you say is like during your public speaking, what do you say is like your main niche within public speaking? Like what is something that you're able to hone in and actually, push into people's brain like naturally and it's actually showing in their result?
So niche is a funny word
Mhm.
because I hear that you have to have a niche to blow up. You have to have a niche to really gain that audience. But I
Mhm.
guess to answer the question, the audience that I speak to the most is people who want to better themselves people who want to better themselves in all aspect of their lives.
Mhm.
So one day I could be telling people how to communicate better. One day I could be teaching people, how to get a good workout routine and physical body, mental health, spirituality. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bunch of avenues that I want to go in. I don't want to just put it in
One
one
category.
box because that's not me. I'm human. I like different things. I'm not finna sit here and only focus on one thing because that's the only thing that I think will catch traction.
Mhm.
I'm a man of many opportunities
Jack of
and
all trades.
exactly, and why not sharpen all those knives? You feel
Mhm.
me?
For sure. And my thing is too is I agree exactly what you said. People try to label me when I first started doing my podcast. It was like, so you just gonna talk about mental health. I'm like, no, mental health is a big word, and I could break mental health down in several different categories.
Exactly.
Whatever I speak on is about self-improvement. So when people ask me what do, I have a podcast about mental health, inspiration, motivation, and whatever other life situations that you go through on a day-to-day basis. You can't put all of that in one category because somebody can listen to me to get happier. Somebody can listen to me to get motivated. Some people can listen to me to balance out their life when they're sad. It You can't put me in one situation because all the words I speak can affect you in multiple different ways. So
Exactly.
I definitely want to say I give my kudos to you for being able to go on any platform or stage and be able to advise other people because people think it's easy when it's really not because you have to have some type of credibility in your words to get people to want to more listen to you and do what you're telling them to do.
Exactly.
So I definitely give you your flowers on that. That's big kudos. I
And
started mines in college, so
and yeah, to add on to that credibility word, that's big because in this space, people don't really listen to you if you don't have credibility. Oh,
facts.
at the time I was 20, 21 years old. I'm 22 now.
Mhm.
And people still looking at me like, "Oh, you only that old. Why should I listen to you?"
Mhm.
I ain't got no credibility. When you first starting off at something, you're not gonna have no followers for the credibility. People aren't
Mhm.
gonna be listening to you. Oh, what does this guy know? And I think you get that credibility just by showing up every day.
Exactly.
I'm very persistent in everything that I do. So all my actions show that. I'm posting every single day.
Mhm.
That's my credibility. Me showing up every single day, me keeping that disciplined routine.
Mhm.
That's my credibility. Everything starts with yourself. And when you
Facts.
learn how to like look at life that way, you will start to see how far you could really go with this. You
Mhm.
know?
And my next question for you is, if you had to give one experience, that can I don't wanna say tie into the credibility, but like we mentioned before, people say that we're not experienced. So what would you say is one experience if somebody wanted to be like, "Okay, I wanna relate to you, but give me one thing about yourself that you've been through that'll make me understand you better." What is one experience that you have?
Well,
Just
a lot of people don't have the experience of moving to a new city.
Mhm.
So that is one of the comments that I've received a lot. People asking me for advice. Oh, how'd you do this?
Mhm.
Or I dropped out of school. How'd you, because a lot of people have pressures from, it could be your relatives, it could be your friends, just society in general. A lot of people have these pressures that they feel like they have to follow
Mhm.
because that's the what the world put on them. And for somebody who did both of those things, I dropped out of school and I moved to a different city at 21, it's like, okay, people wanna know why, people wanna know my story, but people also wanna relate to, like, okay, how'd you actually go through with it with having those pressures on you? Because just because I did it doesn't mean those pressures went away.
Mhm.
The pressures are still there. Pressure's always gonna be there, but you just gotta navigate through it, and a lot of people wanna relate to navigating through it, but they just don't know how, or they don't have the willpower to actually do what's on their heart and not somebody else's.
I think a lot of people live up to false standards, and the reason why I mention false standards is because I used to live up to the expectation of I have to be the best at everything I do. Everything I touch has to be gold, it has to be glass, especially because I wanted to put my parents, I wanted to put my family in a situation to where they've never been in before. Like I wanted to change everybody else's lives, so I had to be the golden boy. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand false standards until I got to college and I realized that nobody else before me made those sacrifices of making everybody else's life perfect. So why am I trying to be that? It's not realistic. I can't save everybody. And that's my logo, my saying for everything that I do. I can't save everybody. I can save those that are able to be saved. Like I can't break my back trying to save 1,000 people when probably 10 people out of the 1,000 would want to save me. It's just not realistic. So I had to learn that in everything that I do, it has to be the best for Trey, not the best for everybody else. So to add on to what you just said, people want to know our stories, but they don't want to know the part about how to navigate through it. Like a lot of people want to cling on to the emotional part of the story, but they don't want to cling on to how the success actually occurred because
Well
it
said.
is deemed as too much work. It's deemed as too much or it's deemed as uncomfortable because they like, damn, you got here, what you went through. Don't ask me what I went through, ask me how I got there. They
Well
just wanna
said.
know the emotional part of everything that we go through instead of actually knowing the work because they don't wanna better themselves for real. They just either wanna be nosy or they wanna be like, "Oh, yeah, I know his story."
Well said.
So, how are you able to and this may be a personal question, how are you able to continue and live your life knowing that you still have those present pressures back home or even in Tampa now today?
Well, like you said, you can't help anybody else until you help yourself,
Mhm.
right? And even then, you can't help everybody. And one of the things I learned coming to Tampa is you can't talk. A dog get hungry. What do? A dog eat.
Mhm.
No talking, just eating. So, hey, stop talking and start eating.
Mhm.
Simple as that. And everybody wants to relate to the story. It's gonna be no matter the more you keep going, the more successful you get. People gonna keep talking. People gonna keep relating, trying to relate to you, trying to understand like how you felt during this time or this part of the story. You just got to go through it.
Mhm.
To anybody, just constantly trying to relate to the story. Stop. You know what I'm saying? Focus on your own journey. Focus on you and start eating. Too busy
Exactly.
worrying about Johnny.
Mhm.
You feel me? I don't care about your Rolls Royce. I don't care about your Lambo.
Mhm.
What car am I driving right now? I'm 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 worried about my car. What car am I driving right now?
Exactly.
What food am I eating right now?
Mhm.
That's what I'm doing. I'm acting on it. I'm not talking about it.
Mhm.
And you gotta instead of relating with other people's stories and their journeys and trying to figure out what they did, go with your gut. You know what I'm saying? If you in a circumstance where you feel like you should be doing one thing, but whether it be your family, your friends, or society leading you in the other direction, you have to go with your own gut, focus
Mhm.
on what you want to do and take action on it.
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't have the willpower to take their own action because they're too busy focused on what the next man got or what the next man is doing. But when have you ever drove looking in your rearview mirror? Like
Mhm.
it doesn't make sense.
Facts.
Logically, it doesn't
Facts.
even make sense.
Facts. And I agree with you. And to add on to that, I live by this saying that I learned from Wallow 267. That's one of the people that I kind of like am inspired by.
So
Um, he basically said that he developed a fuck it button, and I now have enlisted that into my life. So whenever I meet roadblocks where to where I see somebody doing something that I want to do, but my biggest concern is, am I able to do it? I just hit the button because I would never know unless I do it. I don't know the results of anything until I actually put in the work to do it. So now, when like for instance, like I just told you, the in real life content, I've been seeing other people do. I'm like, bro, I know I kill this game. Like just me getting on camera and speaking, like me just being in real life, walking around talking. I kill this instantly. But I'd be like, man, I don't know if it's gonna look different. I got a podcast. I ain't really trying to mix it up. I don't want people thinking like I'm trying to be a content creator. But all those are other people's expectations and viewpoints. I'm worried about what other people think and not what's actually beneficial towards me. So
exactly.
I had to hit the fuck it button. And when I did it, it worked.
You gotta be a dog and eat.
My point exactly.
Yep.
And like you said, like on one of my previous episodes in the early beginning, I use this metaphor. I'm like, just how you said, you don't logically, you're never looking in your rearview mirror while you're driving. I said this in one of my episodes. I said, the longer you look into your rearview mirror and worried about what's going on behind you, the easier it is to miss your exit and miss your blessings that you're driving past. And
Exactly.
a lot of people don't understand that because I feel like as long as you stay in your lane, mind your business, and do your work, all your blessings will be more clear. Your purpose will be clear. Your why will be clear. Everything will be clear because you're actually focused on it and you will be able to see it coming full
Exactly.
effect.
Exactly.
So my next question for you is, knowing that you're still young, what are some things that you're looking towards achieving and looking towards doing? Because like you said right now, like you're doing the work. So what is an area or what is a place that you want the work to actually land to?
So I'm a very visionary person.
Hmm.
Like I said, I got a lot of different avenues that I want to go towards.
Yeah.
And but one thing is you do kind of have to for certain periods of time, certain time extents, you gotta focus on one thing to get a set goal.
Hmm.
But long term, what I'm working towards is mastery over my mind because like I said, your mentality is one of the only things that you can control.
Hmm.
So if you master your mind and you can stay disciplined to get those freedoms, that's what I'm working towards. So however in the future that may look like me playing an instrument, me looking the best in the gym, just stuff
Hmm.
like that. That right there is what I'm working towards. Like focusing on my own lane and mastering myself. I also want to build something. I want to build something. I haven't put too much, I've put a lot of thought into it, but I haven't gained as much clarity as I wanted on it. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit, but I do want to build something very like almost like a school, a college
Yeah.
for everything that I just said. For somebody looking to better themselves in all aspects of their life, I want to build something to where, okay, I got the best communications coach right here,
Hmm.
or I got the best trainer right here, get you right in the gym.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got a health enthusiast ready to teach you about the diets that you should be on.
Hmm.
I want something to where no matter what line of work you're in, no matter who you are, you can gain something for being in this sort of program.
Hmm.
That's what I want to build because cool mastering myself is cool, but I want to help the next person eat too.
Hmm.
I want to help the next person. So that's kind of my long-term goals and what I could say focused on right now.
For sure. And I think that's very that's good to hear. You know what I mean? Because I always tell people, and people look at me crazy when I say this, but it's something about helping other people that gives me a boost of energy. You know what I mean? Like for instance, even what people don't know, but like we ran together, you know what I mean? Like I may not be the best runner, but I know me sometimes showing up will
So
give other people that push.
what?
And I know if me showing up in a time where, like, for instance, like I was dying, like I'm dead. If my bros see me or if people see me doing an extra push, they can be like, man, if he can do it, I can do it. Cause I got a lot of DMs. And the most important fact that I keyed in on was, did you see the part where I was struggling to get up them stairs? I had to push.
So
And it made me a better man at the end of the day because I knew like I could have easily just stopped and be like, all right, y'all boys, I'll meet y'all back at the parking lot. But I finished through. I may not have the best time. I may not have the best pace, but it was at my own display. It was at my own heart. It was like you did something that most people would have gotten an Uber and went back home.
thanks.
You did something that people won't even step outside to do because they know it's a lot. They know it's going to require extra amount of work to meet this accomplishment. So
Exactly.
knowing that you want to dedicate yourself to a program to better other people, bro, that's magnificent because
So
I get an extra thrill out of that. Most people say that the people that help people don't get nothing in return, but I actually get something because seeing other people progress is key.
man, and one thing that I seen when moving to Tampa, like I've worked a lot of different jobs.
Hmm.
I've been around a lot of different people. And one of the things that I noticed that especially in Tampa, it's on the I guess you could say rich side. It's not really it's wealthy people that I didn't really see as much
Hmm.
living in Georgia. And one thing about them is they just have an abundance of happiness. And happiness because they're constantly giving without having the expectation of receiving. People love to give.
Hmm.
People love to help other people, and it comes right back to you.
Facts.
It
Yeah,
comes right
facts.
back to
That's
you.
that's why I say like it never really hit me the work I was doing with this until I started seeing people that I didn't know comment and people that I didn't know sharing it. You know what I mean? Like I had somebody recently, like I want to say a couple months ago, they wrote under one of my videos, it was like this video saved me. Like I'm living homeless in my car. And if I would have never seen this video, I probably would have just gave up. And it just takes that one comment, whether it's real, fake, whatever the case may be, that one comment gave me all the energy I needed in my heart to just keep going. Cause I know if I stop, this one person that probably needed and probably didn't see me yet, they probably give up.
And that's another topic we could hop right into. Like that's a whole human
Hmm.
talking about this video saved me. Imagine somebody on the edge of a cliff right now. And you help them up, you save their life. That's exactly what you just did.
Hmm.
And and to go back on what we was talking about earlier, imagine self-doubt or the pressures holding you back from posting that video or doing that
Hmm.
IRL content. You don't
Hmm.
know who watching that. You don't know who is benefiting from that.
Absolutely.
So to whoever's watching this podcast right now, you have a light. And if you scared to sign your light for whatever reason, it might be valid, it might not. But go ahead and take that step because you never know who will benefit on the other side of that screen
Hmm.
or no matter what it is that you do.
I always say this, and like I said, I talk in metaphors because it's just the visionary behind it. I always tell people you still can get through a dark tunnel with one lighter.
Mm.
It may not be the easiest thing. It may not be the easiest thing. It may not be the best thing to use to see, but you still can get through a tunnel with one lighter. That's all you need. And everything else will be the mental game. You thinking if you're gonna run into a wall, you think you're gonna see something, it's all mental. As long as you try to make it to that end of the tunnel, you're gonna experience something in that tunnel that may be uncomfortable. It may hurt you, shit, it may even try to kill you. But as long as your end goal is still making out that tunnel, you will still see the light. The light not going nowhere. You got a tool, whatever your tool is, you have to use it
Use it.
in the best way that you can. That way you can see the end of the tunnel because what's at the end of the tunnel is so much light that you probably want to be able to handle it. But you going through this tunnel with this bare minimum light, it'll prepare you for the thing that's at the end of the tunnel. You just have to be worthy. You have to be willing to make it to the end. And I feel like a lot of people won't. Like I said, I think a lot of people honestly chase comfort instead of progression and just being better overall. They chase comfort because that's what looks the best. Like if I can sit in the house all day and just go to work, I ain't facing nothing in the real world. That's what people think. But you missing out on everything else that you could be facing and could be achieving and learning about yourself. Like I did
Exactly.
that for years. When I was in college, I ain't never leave the crib unless I was going out to make extra money. I dedicated my life towards money
Mhm.
and school.
Yeah.
If it wasn't those two, I mean, I'm in the crib playing the game, but I'm missing out on all these memories, these people that I could have potentially met, these goals that I could have learned, and just learning more about myself. So I end up being in a depression state without knowing I was in a depression state because I only dedicated my life towards school and money,
Yeah.
two things that could easily be taken away from me.
Uh-huh.
And I had nothing to fall back on if they was taken away from me because I never took the time out to go and build it.
Exactly.
So my next question for you is, like I said, I'm gonna hone in on the age because like you still young. Like I didn't have this figured out when I was your age. When I was 21, I think I was in what? Yeah, I was 23 when I graduated. 21, I was just not getting into my first apartment, buying my first car. I was confused as shit. I probably had $200 to my name.
Mhm.
So I'm giving you your flowers on that. Anybody your age, even the guys that we run with, they all young.
For
So
sure.
seeing that everybody got something figured out at a young age, that makes me happy because I didn't have it figured out. So knowing that you're still young and knowing that,
Let me say one thing though.
go ahead.
Nobody got it figured out.
Nobody.
Nobody got it. If I got it figured out right now, I'd be on a jet on the way to some crazy island,
Hmm.
chilling on Costa Rica, drinking, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
That's
nah,
real.
but but it is improvement. It is improvement.
Hmm.
But I get what you're saying though. Being at this level and attaining certain things that majority of people don't have, it is something to give yourself a pat on the back for.
Sure.
And that's actually another thing that one of the things that I felt I used to struggle with was slowing down,
Hmm.
looking around,
Appreciating the
and
present time.
appreciating where I'm at. Man, let me tell you, I'm very ambitious
Mhm,
and I'm super ambitious. I got big goals.
mhm,
I'm a visionary. And when I first moved into this apartment, my mind is already on the high rise.
mhm. What's next?
Naturally.
Mhm,
But man, for the first few months of me even being in my apartment, I really had to just chill, sit, and look around where I was at and think about where I used to be because I'm thinking about, oh, what's my next destination? I've been doing that my whole life.
mhm,
And it's a double-edged sword. One end, I'm ambitious. It's what got me here. But
mhm.
on the other end, you gonna enjoy life or what?
Facts, and to even add on to that, I always had the what's next mindset, and that's
Yeah,
why I said, like, I was always focused on school and money. Because once you obtain those two, is what's next? All right, I got this money. What I'm gonna do next with it, or what I'm gonna buy next, or what I'm gonna put towards next. My next mindset is what led to my depression because I never took time to hone in what was actually around me. I never took time to actually appreciate what I was doing. So when I got my first car, I was like, all right, it's just a little hoopty. Like, what's next? What am I gonna get a Hellcat or am I gonna get a Challenger? What's next? But I never took time to appreciate the car that I actually had and not knowing that most people don't even have a car. People gotta walk.
man.
People gotta get on the bus. Like never taking the time to actually love what I spent, what I earned my money towards and spend it on something that was big that can help me do different lanes of work. But like you said, it's a double-edged sword.
You can get comfortable with anything.
It's a fact.
Get comfortable with anything. So what I like to do, sometimes life will force you to be humbled.
Mhm.
If you driving to every location, your car might break down, now you gotta walk. That's how life will humble you if you don't choose to do it yourself.
Mhm.
And so I think it's very important to ground yourself. It's like it's like you can have a great relationship with God, right?
Mhm.
And then everything going good in your life, you just stop reading your Bible, you stop praying. Okay, what happened? You get this amount of money, you you know what I'm saying? You have this level of success and now
Mhm.
you stop reading the Bible? So it's like, okay, finding the finding the balance of not letting your highs be too high and not letting your lows be too lows is very important.
Mhm.
You gotta be level headed no matter what is going on in the external world.
Mhm. And let me ask you this, just to do a counter on that. Do you think you're able to still be successful while you're living in your highs and forgetting that you had your lows? Like some people, like you mentioned, some people get to that high stage and forget everything else. Do you think it's still a part of success forgetting your past and living in that present moment of being high?
Think when you're experiencing those highs,
Mhm,
it's you gotta be in the present moment, right? You're experiencing it, you wanna experience it to its fullest.
mhm,
But you overdo anything is bad for you. And if you overdo that feeling, which
mhm,
is just a feeling, it's fleeting, that can lead you to be going back to the lows. And so it's always good keep a mindset of, okay, this is where I'm at, and this is where I came. Like this is where I came from, and this is where
Mhm,
I'm at right now. And that's I always keep it in the back of my mind. Man, I remember a lot of things in my past
mhm,
that have helped me to stay level headed during some of the things in the present.
mhm.
So I think that's also very important.
Sure. And do you think your experiences is or the things that you experience is one reason why you're successful now?
I wouldn't even say I'm successful now. I'm just working. I mean, I when you got such big goals, you
Mhm,
never really successful. Successful is what you make of it. I think I'm
mhm.
successful because I have a family. I grew up in a two-parent household. I think I'm successful because I have people that I could text that I know will be there for me.
Mhm.
That's how I base my success off
For
of.
sure.
So I think I was successful from the day I was born. And I think the things that I want in life are already mine.
Mhm.
So it's like the things that I feel like I have to go out and attain, whether I have them or not, I'm already successful because this is the mindset that I have.
Exactly.
So success is something that you come up with. You make the rules for your own life.
Mhm.
That's something that you gotta live by.
Sure. So what if you had to explain success to somebody has a misconception of it, how would you explain it to them? Because like you said, success for you is just being alive, success for you is just being born. But if you had to break it down into one sentence for somebody else to understand, because sometimes we have to switch things in different perspectives. So how would you explain success in a way of not achieving something,
For sure.
but just living?
So if I had to explain success to somebody,
Mhm,
Earl Nightingale, I listen to a lot of Earl Nightingale. He said, I don't want to misquote him, but he said like success is the realization of a worthy ideal. Whatever idea you have in your mind
mhm.
and you want to achieve it, and if you achieve it, that is success. If you set out your goal to be a middle school teacher and you become a middle school teacher, you are successful. It's the realization of a worthy ideal. Simple as that.
That's deep. And I think um like you said or like we both said mentioned before, like I think one thing that helped me get to where I am now is like we mentioned ambition, right? And my ambition came from me not having that ceiling. Like I always tell people there's no ceiling on my house. Like the sky is limit.
Yeah.
I tell people sometimes like I've never seen the moon. I've never seen what's outside of the world.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me I'm limited to anything because I've never seen what's way past me, what's ahead of me, what's above me. I've never been in any situation to where like you can't tell me like, all right, Trey, I think this you good right here. No, I'm not. It's so much more to life. It's so much more to the world. It's other shit. It's other languages that I can learn. It's other people I got to meet. So you can't tell me I'm good because I know my good is bare minimum right now.
Man.
Like you said, I'm still improving. And it's some people that come to me and be like, bro, you so successful. Like, you doing everything right. I'm like, bro, no, I'm not. Like, you don't even know what my mind is telling me I need to go get next.
What
Like, comparing your mind to my mind, you would think I'm crazy.
and that's that's all that is your calling. You know you're supposed to do something at this level
Mm-hmm.
just because you got something right here and it's a little bit higher than what everybody else got.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mean that you reached your final destination. It's not success in your book.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you focus on yourself, eat your own food.
For sure.
I'm not full yet. I'm gonna keep eating.
Mm-hmm.
You might have been full with this little bitty portion of food, but hey, that's your stomach and that's what you got
We
going on.
just two different type of dogs.
Two different dogs, two different breeds.
Mhm. Like some people just genuinely aren't built to last in certain other people's shoes and other people's position. Like
Exactly.
some people can meet a cap, and if you meet your cap, cool.
Yeah.
But my cap, I don't even know where it's at right now. Like I'm fluent. I'm just gonna keep going until God speaks to me otherwise.
Till I
Until
die.
exactly, God has the last say so. So
Yeah.
until God calls me, I'm here working. I'm doing His work. I tend to think that God would have been stopped me if He wanted me to stop. So
Yeah.
why am I stopping for anything else? I have no limitations right now.
At all.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can easily go out here and do whatever you want to do. And I tell people all the time, you have an idea, like you said, do it. You don't know the outcome until you do the work. And that's the biggest misconception of everything is doing. Everybody looks at the
So
failures instead of what could be.
exactly, exactly. And so a lot of people, which is true, the one thing that I believe is true is you are the you are the outcome of your thoughts. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Your reality is based off of how you think.
Yeah.
But if you want a shortcut to that, and if you want a shortcut to that is forget the thinking, just take action. If you know you got like a broad thing that you want to achieve,
Mhm.
what's the next step I could do to get me closer to that? Simple as that, and just do it.
Mhm.
There's no thinking about it, procrastinating,
Mhm.
thinking about what happens if I do this or what happens if I do that. It's a time and place to think strategically.
Mhm.
But man, if you haven't even took the first step, you know, one thing that I live by is, especially when I'm starting something new or going down a new avenue,
Yeah.
is take the first step, take the second step, take the third step, and fix the stride later on. Everything
Mhm.
don't gotta be clean. When I first started making content, and Imma probably look back at this footage and be like, "Wow, I was making funny looking content right now."
Mhm.
But when I really first started making content about like a year and a half ago, man, I look back at that like a week ago and I was like, I would never post that today. 'Cause it just looked like somebody who just started.
Mhm.
But I had to go through that phase in order to be more competent in my skills of content creating,
Exactly.
and people aren't willing to go through that phase in anything
Mhm.
that they do.
Exactly.
And just because they don't wanna go through that little bit of phase of looking a little bit uncomfortable on camera
Mhm.
or being the new guy at a new job or being an intern, just because people don't wanna do that, they're willing to change the whole trajectory of their life of something that they could be up here with, and then just keep it down here because
Comfortability.
of comfortability and the perception of other people that they have on them, you know?
Mhm.
So,
For sure. I definitely agree with that.
yeah,
And like you mentioned, you said take steps. I think a lot of people don't want to take steps. They want to take leaps. Because a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people don't want to do the work. So they'll rather find a shortcut to take that leap and then everything go wrong.
sure.
So my next question to you is, and I want to, because we're almost at the end, I want to tie into something that I seen also that I'm working on, but I've seen that you already do. You have an ebook.
Do.
Talk about your ebook. I
I'm an
want to hear about
author.
it.
I'm an author. Yes,
Hmm.
sir.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
Yeah, so my ebook, that was the first ebook I ever wrote.
Hmm.
It was it was basically about finding clarity with your mind, because if you're confused, you can't take the right steps. You could be doing a lot of actions, you could be putting the work in, but if you're not putting work in the right direction, you
Hmm.
might as well stay on the couch.
Facts.
So the ebook is more about finding that clarity. It's more about um just sitting down with yourself, blocking out all the noise. It's
Mm.
actionable steps that you could take if you're looking to find clarity on where you want to take your life.
For
And
sure.
it's a lot of people. I was blessed to I feel like I know my purpose. I have several different passions.
Hmm.
I was able to kind of just have that off the jump, but it's a lot of people around me. It's a lot of people that I know of that kind of feel like they have no purpose, that they don't have a direction that they want to go in their life.
Hmm.
And so the ebook it's not there to give you all the answers, but it's there to give you the practices that you need to do to
Hmm.
find the answers yourself,
Exactly.
because nobody can help you unless you help yourself.
Facts.
So the thought process behind me writing my ebook was to allow people to find the right actionable steps that they need to take
Hmm.
to get that clarity on their life.
That's what's up, bro. That's powerful. So while we talking about your ebook, go ahead and tell them where they can find it, the name of the ebook, and everything like that.
Yeah, so the ebook is called Clarity Under Pressure. If you want to go grab a copy, go ahead to my Instagram, link in my bio, and you'll find it right there.
For sure.
Yep,
So yeah, I wanted to talk about that a little bit too, because I'm in the process of making my first book, which is going to be a devotional,
that's dope.
30-day devotional. Well, writing is hard.
Right,
Writing is hard. It's definitely tough
right,
because, like I said earlier, the word we use credibility. You know what I mean. And my devotional at first, it was just going to be steps on how to get through each day, and each day has a specific keyword that's towards that day. For example, like one of the chapters in my book or one of the pages or days in my book is freedom. So giving you a reason why you would need freedom, a lesson that you can learn from obtaining freedom, and why you should want freedom, all in one thing. But what caught me was, where is the credibility? Okay, I'm telling you how to do this shit, but why are you listening to me?
Yeah,
So I had to start my whole book over, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna give you all these three things, but I'm gonna also throw my experience on there.
for sure.
So when my devotional should come out,
That's gonna be dope. I had to get a
I
copy.
want to say July. I want to say July. Oh, yeah, I got you. I'll hook you up with a free copy because I'm gonna have a
Much
hard book.
love.
I'm gonna have a hard book and a ebook as well too. So it should come out in July. This will be my first time talking about it on here because I ain't even. I've been
Yes,
on a
sir.
hold. I've been on a run of just runaway guests, but
Grinding.
I definitely appreciate that you did that, and just giving back a token to people and allowing them to invest in themselves. Like that's the biggest thing of all.
Most
So
definitely.
we are towards the end, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask you, take the top off, and then go ahead and pick a card
Yeah.
and read the question out loud.
Go ahead, pick number 4. My favorite number. All right. What's a habit that changed your life for the better? What is a habit that changed your life for the better? Sitting in silence.
Mm.
Sitting in silence. I want to answer. I want to get two answers.
Go
Sitting
ahead.
sitting in silence
Mhm.
and pursuing the uncomfortabilities of life. Because sitting in silence, it allows you to think of your own answers for yourself
Mhm.
and navigate life's pressures, find answers to your problems,
Mhm.
right? And then pursuing uncomfortabilities in life, that is what allows you to grow.
Mhm.
So those two things together is the habit that I'm most proud of.
Sure, that's deep, bro. Because I never understood it. Like the only time I would sit in silence is when I was angry, when I was younger,
Yeah,
when I was angry, and I feel like it allowed me to decompress. But I didn't realize until 2024 when I made that huge jump and commitment for myself that when you sit in silence, you're actually allowing your mind to process different things all at one time. And now you have that clarity approach. Now you know, okay, what steps can I take next? What should I do next? What should I cut off? What should I do? You know what I mean? It just allows you to think about all the action that you could take more clearly whenever
exactly.
you sit in silence. So sometimes I drive in silence.
Exactly.
Because now when I'm thinking about something, I'll be like, oh, I could do this when I go home, or I could do this when I get here, or I could do this next week. It
Yeah,
allows you to process stuff instead of listening to all this music and
yeah,
whatever you listening to and just filling your mind for that 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You can actually be thinking about something. And now, like for instance, one thing I do now, which is kind of crazy, like I look at billboards. Like when I'm driving and if I see something that I can turn into idea or creativity, from a billboard, like they have all type of words and slang and all whatever the hell they got on their billboards. If I feel like I can take something from it, I'm gonna write it down or I'm gonna type it in my notes while I'm
yeah.
driving. Cause
That's dope.
now this quietness has allowed me to observe my
Your
environment.
environment, and that's one of the most powerful things you could do.
Mhm.
Everybody does it. Look, formats, you're not supposed to reinvent the wheel. I mean, you can,
Mhm.
but, like, why reinvent the wheel when you could pull inspiration from here, 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 and make it your own?
Facts.
But I wanna tap back into what you were just saying about the anger.
Mhm.
I used to have I wanna say anger issues, but I used to have strong emotions. I feel like I had a deeper sense of my feelings, very introspective,
Mhm.
and how I used that as I got older was I realized that any emotion that you got, whether it's anger, whether it's happiness, whether
Mhm.
it's sadness, all that could be used as fuel towards your goals and your passions, for sure.
That's facts.
Mhm.
I had to do it myself. Like I get mad, I'm gonna just do it. I'm towards work. That's why I told you. Like
At the end,
I'm
yeah.
kind of glad that earlier we was talking about sports. Like I'm glad I didn't get put into football for that specific reason because if I would have expressed my anger through physicality, I don't know what that could have led to.
Uh-huh.
It could have led to bad decisions or it could have led to me being in the gym. I don't know. But I'm thankful I didn't take that route just
So
because of that. Because even while playing basketball, AAU and everything like that, whenever I would get upset, I get my ass ejected.
mhm.
like, that's just how it was. Like, it was to a point where, like, I just black out, and whoever caused that anger, that gets taken out on you, and now I'm getting thrown out from something that I love.
Overly.
So, yeah, that's just a
So
little token about that, but since we are at the end, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you at on all social media platforms. Um,
I'm pretty much on every platform.
l
So I'm on Facebook too. Yes, sir.
let them know where they can find you.
But nah,
Imma
find
put it
me.
all in the tags.
I already say that. So my main one is Instagram. I'm on YouTube, TikTok. It's gonna be Aidan Terrell, AIDANTERRELLL.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Alright, bet.
Yes,
Y'all heard it.
sir.
Y'all heard it from the man himself, so
Do it.
I appreciate you pulling up, fam, especially
Of
great,
course.
good first conversation,
Appreciate you having me.
and yeah, no problem, bro. I look forward to seeing everything that you achieve in the future. Imma be there step by step, and
Likewise, likewise.
we gonna tour Tampa together, bro. I've been here since 2019, so whatever you need to know, whatever you need
You
to
a vet,
find, we gonna do it
vet.
together. For sure.
All
So
right.
y'all know how I am with the outro. Gone.
All right, y'all.
Good work, my boy.
Smooth.